Right. Let's make sure that we're all good. Yep. Sweet. Should be fine. There's going to be a little bit of an echo as I test to make sure the audio does sound as good as it did when I was testing, which sounds fine. So I'll just give you guys a minute to join. I know I'm just bringing this up on you, but I'm planning on doing these weekly live streams just because it's so much easier to make new content by just streaming it and putting it right onto YouTube instead of taking hours to film content, among other things I have going on. But it's still going to be good. I'm going to be checking out the charts that I shared last time here on TradingView. Just want to make sure that still things look really good on the live stream. So far, so good. Things look pretty good. Yep. All right, so I'll just give it a little bit of time to let people join in. So I think things are going to be really exciting today, personally, with Bitcoin. But yeah, I think it's obvious what's going to happen personally. But you know, it's okay. It's okay if it doesn't happen. And of course, we have the weekend coming up. But anyway, just give it a little bit longer, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Again, we're going to be reviewing, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum and the charts that I talked about last time, FTX token, Aave, the key, I believe, and Unify Protocol. Yeah. As well as just looking at how the TBO looks on other markets, specifically stock and Forex, because I've had that question come up a couple of times. So I don't know where it is for you right now. It is 11:10 a.m. on Friday in Tokyo. So hopefully it's not too late or too early wherever you are. Being international is really awesome, but that means that inevitably some people will be asleep when this is happening, and that's okay. So that would be rather people in London, Central Europe time. It's 4 in the morning. So if you're awake, wow, go to sleep. But I think this should be catching most of the people in North America and South America. So great, let's go ahead and get started. So it's nice to see you guys here again. I'm going to be talking about, like I said, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I want to talk about, give an update on FTX token. I want to look at the key, Unify Protocol, and Aave. I also want to be upfront that I am doing this out of the goodness of my heart. And I'll be doing my best to talk to you guys here on YouTube and check the live chat. And I'll try my best to answer questions. I can't go into my 3Commas account because I haven't figured out the best way to do that live, just because I have a lot of different accounts connected and I don't want to show you guys everything I have. I'm not one of those guys, okay? Not that I'm embarrassed of my account size, but I want to protect my account size, and it doesn't matter how big or small it is compared to whatever you have. But that's something I have to figure out still, but eventually we'll get to that point. So I do this in the Better Traders Club live streams, and I forgot to do it last time because it does help just to put it out there. So before we go any further, I got some fun stuff. This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker-dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We have no access to non-public information about publicly traded companies or cryptocurrencies, and this is not a place for the giving or receiving of financial advice, advice concerning investment decisions, or tax or legal advice. The value of investments and the income derived from them can go down as well as up. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance. So it's great to see a lot of you here. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So I'm going to pop on over to TradingView and just going to do an update on the charts that I talked about last time. For once, everybody is super pumped about Bitcoin. Not only is it looking really strong on multiple time frames, and I have to remember that I'm using my, there we go, Windows machine, which everything looks super different on here for me. Let me go ahead and close this to give some more real estate. There we go. But on the, oh, this is too small. This one should be 30. But it's looking really good. It's interesting how we are just trying our hardest to break above 40K for Bitcoin right now. I just think it's a matter of time. This honestly feels very similar to what happened when Bitcoin is trying to break above 20K, where it's trying its hardest, and then we're just going to see a bottleneck squeeze and then pop. So that's my guess for the weekend. It's interesting because Sundays have typically been a day to dump. So it's nice to see a change in that. One thing that's really helpful with the TBO and other trending indicators like moving averages is that it's really nice and simple to see the strength of the trend. Just to explain what you're seeing down here, this is the TBT forecaster. So this is giving me a short-term forecast of the Bitcoin market and alts. So right now it's on the 30-minute time frame, meaning that in the next 3 hours, Bitcoin will remain neutral, but alts are starting to turn bullish. And I have this set to different time frames as well. So it's going to be showing you different information here. I know it's really hard to see. But basically right now it's looking good, and weak bullish is not a bad thing at all. Because there are 5 levels to this: bearish, weak bearish, neutral, weak bullish, and bullish. So we're almost to the bullish point. So like I said, Bitcoin's been looking strong since the 25th. So we've had a nice 5-day run of positive momentum. Things are still looking really strong to me. I'm going to come over here. I like longer time frames. For all of you that are been trading for a while, maybe you're used to scalping on higher time frames, but you got to make sure to zoom out, because if you don't understand the macro trend, then you could be paying for it dearly. So things, like I said, they're stopping out here. One thing that I'm concerned about, and I'm going to move this up just so there we go, just so we can see a bit more, is this. We had so much volume on this pump that happened here on the 26th at my 9 a.m. Well, during that 4-hour candle. But the volume has died down. Anytime the volume starts to die down like this, it's not really a good thing. We want to see the volume increase as the price moves up higher. Now, I'm not overly concerned about this. What I think is happening, to be honest with you, is I think that short sellers are layering their orders right here. They saw a peak here. They placed their orders to short the market right here. Some of them got liquidated because they're using too high a leverage. And now there is a pullback, whatever. And now short sellers are putting their their sell orders up here to short the market because they don't think that the price of Bitcoin is going to exceed 48.55. So that's what's happening right now. It's a very similar situation as to this. You can see this candle right here is nice, big, fat, and green. Let me change that. And the reason this one moved up only 4% in a 4-hour period, but the reason it moved up so much is because of this. Because there was previous high, quote unquote, a high here on the 15th of July. And then that's what caused all of this fun stuff to happen here, is because the price exceeded everybody's expectations and short sellers got their positions liquidated, therefore forcing them to market buy back what they had sold. And then boom, it shoots the wick up super duper high. So things look really good. The next thing we have to do, and this is again, really, really awesome. The TBO doesn't just show us the trend strength, but it gives us the support and the resistance. And the resistance is this red dotted line right here and right here. It's not uncommon for it to turn from red to green because it's flipping from resistance to support. So this resistance line right here is holding really well. The longer this line is, the stronger it is. So having this line last for 26 days means that 36K is really strong. Could it be broken? Yes, anything can happen. But the fact of the matter is that because it's so long, it's going to hold, in my opinion. Now let's go to the daily, which matters the most. And this is the most exciting part right here. So today we are seeing a TBO open long on the daily. We haven't seen an open long. We had a little bit of a fluctuation right here, but the last real open long was back here on the 11th. Oh, sorry, the 13th? No, I was right. The 11th of October. And that started, really, that started our bull run. I suppose you could say it also started back here. Oops, wrong one. Let's see. And vertical. There we go. So it's doing a great job of calling and confirming the market trend. It did that really well here. Whether or not you listen to it, right? Here we go. This is our vertical line. And this is when it confirmed the downtrend that we have been experiencing. So now here we are. It's always going to be late because it's a confirmation indicator. And we don't want to go off of this right now today because the day isn't over. We want to consider this confirmed after the daily candle is closed. So there's a chance that this will disappear. That doesn't mean that the TBO is repainting anything, because it's not uncommon for these symbols that are here to flash on or off, to show up and to disappear, because the candle is still open. But when the candle has closed, then we have confirmation, then it's going to stay printed right there. So we need a lot more volume today if Bitcoin's going to move up. So I shared this in the newsletter for the Better Traders. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Better Traders is the site where we have courses on how to use 3 commas and the TBO. Lots of different stuff. But anyway, the newsletter is for free. And in the newsletter, I talked about this specific candle right here. In the top, you're going to see all this open, high, low, close information. So this high is 41,330. This is the price that Bitcoin needs to reach and close above if we're going to remain bullish over the weekend. We're so close, and I think it's absolutely possible, but we aren't there yet. You can see here the high for this candle is 40,900, and it's fallen a little bit. That's okay. So we need to break above 41,300. Sorry, 41,330 in order for Bitcoin to really take off. And guess what? There are a ton of short orders up here, and maybe even a little bit higher. Now, if I were a bear, I would be a little bit worried, not just because of what the TBO is showing me, because even without the TBO, it's pretty obvious that we are moving up higher and the market is changing sentiment. It's changing direction, and we're looking very strong, stronger than we have in a while. So you don't need an indicator to figure that out. You just need your eyes. So let's go on to other things. Ethereum is looking good. It's not as strong as Bitcoin, but it's looking good. I know that seems weird to say, but Bitcoin it's had a really good move so far. It's 36% in 9 days. Oh, it's about the same. Good grief. One thing that would make me feel a lot better about Ethereum is if it continues this slow action right here. This is really good that we have these breakout symbols, but we're not seeing the slow line curving up. We really want to see it strong. We really want to see the price moving up higher. Ethereum's actually in a better position than Bitcoin. And I say that because it's broken out of the overhead trend. Now it's up to the market to buy more Ethereum. And if the market's going to buy more Ethereum, then it will continue to move up higher. But right now, it still feels like it's not super duper strong. It could be a lot stronger, and it will. And it's going to look a lot stronger, yes, here on faster timeframes like the hourly. But we need to see the price action continue to move up a lot higher. I'm not saying I'm bearish at all on Ethereum. And what we're seeing, let me go back to the hourly. This kind of market movement is amazing. This is fantastic because it's slow. And this is good. This is healthy. We do not want to see anything that all of a sudden is just going sideways, then shoots up, because the faster it shoots up, the faster it's going to dump. So right now, it's okay for Ethereum to be moving up and down and up and down, as long as it's gradually doing this. And if it can continue this momentum and keep moving up like this, it's a really good thing. So we just need to make sure that Ethereum doesn't just blast off all of a sudden, because that will overheat the market and then it will cause it to fall further. So if it can maintain a slow move like this for a while, it's really good. We are still quite a bit away from our all-time high, but given this and what's happening in the market, I don't think it's going to be that long until we get there. So let's go on to FTT, which is the FTX token. I'm sure you guys have heard about the news, but if not, let me just bring you up to speed. FTX and Binance both made a surprise announcement without really making an announcement of it, that at the time of, rather, the announcement, that they didn't, that they are reducing the max leverage on both exchanges to 20x leverage for the .com version of the websites. You can't use leverage on the US equivalent of the websites. That's just their rules, their game, so that's how it is. But personally, 20x, much better idea, much safer, much more sustainable for the market. It also will reduce crazy liquidation events, both for them and for us, for the traders, especially retail traders. So it's a good thing. So we're not going to see, hopefully, too many crazy liquidation events like we've seen in the past. That's what I'm hoping. So FTT is also, they've acquired Blockfolio, so it's bullish. They have their arena in Miami, I believe. They are looking to expand their reach on FTX US. Lots of reasons why the FTT token, or the FTX token, should move higher. Again, like everything else, it's still a far cry from where it was before, but it doesn't mean it's impossible for it to get up there. Looking at where we are now on the daily, things look really strong. The fact that the price of FTT is this high above the fast line for the TBO is a little bit dangerous, because this is like a magnet, both of these basically. And this line, because it's a moving average, either it will be forced to move up, which is moving up very fast to match this, or the price is going to come down to meet it. But if the price is going to continue up this way, it has no choice but to curve up to quickly meet it. We've seen this happen before in the past. So right now we're in a transition. And when I talked about this 7 days ago, we are right here. So it had just broken out. So since then, we're up 15%. Ba-boom. And that's great. And it's going to take some time. Again, slow movement is the best type of movement. I think it's going to go much higher over the weekend, personally. So it's looking good and strong. So that is very, very encouraging. Let's take a look at some fib lines. Fib lines are short, of course, for Fibonacci lines. And the reason why fib lines are amazing is because they work. That's just the easy way to say it. There we go. Good. So our first target of 32,773 has been met. And now our next targets are 37 and 42. 42 is going to be hard, not because of the 618, but also because you can see that there are some things here that are a little bit difficult. For instance, there is an open and close here on the daily. The price is struggling at this price right here at 41.8. It struggled here at 41.8 as well. So this, even without the fib line, you can see here that this is going to be a tough resistance to crack. Wrong line. Ugh, that's okay. And let's just make this white. There we go. So this line of 41.8, it's going to be hard. Not impossible, but it's going to be tricky. So expect some resistance up here. But things are turning around for FTT, and that is great. All right, let's keep going. Let me do this. For the Bitcoin equivalent, it's funny because 7 days ago, here we are, it was so close to breaking up. But because Bitcoin's moving up higher, that means that if the USD or the fiat equivalent of the token that is this trading pair, meaning the FTX token, doesn't move up with Bitcoin, then it's going to fall because the price of Bitcoin moved up so much. So it's an inverse reaction compared to the USD reaction. But if FTX can remain strong and Bitcoin maybe has a pullback or something like that, then that would allow the price of FTT to go up higher. So we really need to see FTT break above this. Once it does though, and I don't think it'll happen today, but maybe over the weekend, then that'll be confirmation enough. And I expect it to go higher, and I expect there to be resistance here just because of all of these wicks going into this area and the open close here on the daily. So not only is the TBO calling it, but I'm also calling it too that there should be some resistance at 10,000 Satoshis. Cool. Lend, again, same thing. It was so close 7 days ago. So it was just about ready to break out, but it wasn't able to. Now that it's fallen down and it's basically done a retest of this support line right here. It's pretty easy to see. Right there and right there. It's basically a squeeze. It's not the same thing as a short squeeze, but it's squeezing up. There's so much happening right now in the market that it could fall down again. It could fall down further. But the fact is that it's tried and it's tested this trend line and it hasn't made it yet. But once it does, first point of resistance is going to be here at 94.25. And then it's just going to take off because Aave is one of those tokens that when it wants to, it just explodes. It's not unusual for Aave to love exploding. Nobody get the reference? Okay. The USD equivalent is doing well. Interestingly enough, and this is just confirming what I'm talking about. Let's go 7 days. So we're talking about this was 7 days ago. So it broke above. It's not uncommon to see a little retest like that of the trend line, and then it bounces off of it. That's great. Check out where this ended though. Not ended, but rather it found resistance. This candle, 335.52. 337.09. It is not a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. I present to you the fib lines. So expect some more resistance here at 337. A lot of resistance at 396, mainly because 400 is a round number. That's going to be a challenge just because, well, just like what Bitcoin is seeing right now, it's staying above 40K, but it's also going below every once in a while. So watch out for these moments where the price is reaching a round number like 300, 400, or 1,000. Not saying it's going to go that high, but just keep an eye out for that because there is going to be some big resistance there. Okay, let's keep going. So the key, it hasn't really taken off yet. Let's go back 7 days to see how it's performed. Okay, so I shared it here. So the nice thing is that after I shared it here on YouTube, it actually did pretty well. I was talking about waiting a little bit more, waiting to get down here because I was saying that, there's a 10% drop possible, 8% drop, but you also have a risk to reward ratio of, making a bit more. And bada bing, bada boom, it hit our lines just like that. And I would love to submit to the jury because I know there are some people that are being really harsh in the comments, not for this video, but other videos that are claiming that I don't know what I'm talking about. I didn't change these lines. So the price is doing exactly what it should. And I didn't even spend a lot of time to really eye this. And you can see here that it did a fantastic job. It poked above, fell below, boom, there we go. So if you watched the video and you wanted to trade this, you could have made a nice 21%. So that's good. I'm glad to see that the key did that. It's fallen back down. So this is the time where, I mean, I would not be excited to enter right now. I would wait for it to fall a bit more, mainly because Bitcoin's moving up higher. And remember what I said, if the correlated asset that you're looking at, the trading pair right now, TKY, BTC, if TKY, the fiat value, the USD value, or whatever you want to say, if that value is not increasing while Bitcoin's increasing, it's going to decrease severely. I made a video a while ago about why you're going to lose all your money on the next bull run. This is one of those examples where it's a great low cap alt to trade, but for investing, be really careful. So there is a way that you could still trade this though. Now, one thing that you can do, and this would be more of a position trade, I would want to zoom out a lot further with this chart. This makes me a little bit nervous down here because this is quite the spread. This doesn't look really good to me. So we're in a little bit of a pinch, a pickle. If you can snag it here at 162 and be patient and be willing to take a stop loss at 10% or so, the risk to reward ratio is pretty amazing for TKY. I wouldn't expect another candle just like this, but we can see from history that it's not odd. Oh, can you hear the thunder? Yeah, summer in Japan means thunderstorms. Hopefully everyone at the Olympics is okay. So it's not unusual for it to pump up and then fall right back down to where it was before. Just like here, pumps up, falls down, pumps up, falls down. So here it fell down, it pumped up. So it would be much better to wait till it falls down here and just to catch a nice little replay of that. The Tether equivalent is doing just about the same thing as Bitcoin, the Bitcoin equivalent, except because Bitcoin's moving higher, this chart is now dropping. But because this is USDT, oh, sorry, notifications on my other computer that's monitoring. Good grief. Let me turn that off, sorry. Ooh, thunder. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this, given what happens in the market. But just be careful on the USDT side of things, because it could drop really quickly, and that's a big fat drop. It almost looks like it's making a wedge, but it's not ready to break out of anything, in my opinion. I don't see it anywhere close. If we do something like this, or even like this, yeah, it's not anywhere close to breaking out yet, so it's going to be a while, but it's looking pretty decent so far. So I'm more in favor of this chart for trading, mainly because you want to stack your sats, right? Okay, and let's keep going through, and I think we got one more. It's the Unify Protocol. So this one's looking pretty good 7 days later. Yep. So we first talked about it here 7 days ago. It's done a pretty great job. It's up 30% right now. The reason why I called this last time is because of what I was seeing on the TBO. I was seeing that it found a bottom. The market's going to be moving up higher. And it looked like it was ready to move up, especially because of the gray that I'm seeing here at the TBO. And it's nice to see that the fast line is starting to move up, that the price is moving up. That's great. It's got a long ways to go though before it really recovers where it was previously. Here we go. Let me change my settings just so it looks a little bit prettier. Here we go. So yeah, it's got a long way to go till it reaches anything where it was before. It's taking a huge hit because it's super duper low cap and it's risky and it's on KuCoin. But I mean, that's what makes for good trading, right? So on the daily, this is what it looks like. But if we can turn off the TBO Pro because we want to see what it looks like on a faster time frame, it's pretty good. You don't even need the TBO to figure this out, but you can see it's just making a nice moves like this and just quick little trades. I wouldn't even look for 7%. I would look for like 4 or 5%, but it's just doing this over and over. The reason why this is also a nice chart is because you can see, even without a moving average, your eyes can see that it's basically moving up higher. It's going to encounter resistance at these prices, but trading charts like this, that's on an uptrend, just taking profit along the way, it's really fun with the TBO, because that way you can see resistances where you'd like to sell and places where it's a confirmed support, especially on an uptrend. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Okay, before I jump on to something else, let me just pop over here to the comments. I don't have OBS something or other. It's just regular OBS. So I don't have the comments from YouTube here. This chair is like ridiculously talkative. Shh. So let me just see what I got here on comments. So first up, hey Augusto, Dan, Crypto M, Luke, Happy, Patrick, Pablo, Satoshi again, honored, and Flezg. What is that emoji? Virtual hug? Oh, thank you so much. I love exploding too. That's fun. So let me see if there are any things that I can answer in here. Dan asks, I finally turned on, sorry, I'm looking at the screen. I finally turned on my TBT bots. Thoughts on the QFL strategy? So the market is recovering. The TBT bots and even QFL, they're similar because they wait for the price to fall before it places an order, or waits for a quick divergence. At least the TBT signals do. QFL is a base break strategy because that's Quick Fingers Luke's strategy, right? So the QFL method will be actually better. It'd be better to use the QFL bots right now, mainly because if we're on an uptrend, and just like we saw on this chart, where it's moving up and then it creates a base and then it breaks below it. This will be better for a QFL system, whereas with the TBT signals, it's just going to be slow because I made them slow and conservative because I didn't want people to freak out. We originally used another service, a signal service, the CQS signals, and while they're great scalping signals, they are super duper aggressive. And when the market is bullish, it's a really good system for that. But when it's moving sideways, it's a little bit scary. And if you're a new bot trader and you don't really know what you're doing, you don't want to just see a sea of red and get impatient and scared and market close everything, not knowing that you just have to wait, right? So anyway, just explaining the differences between TBT and QFL. But right now, if the market's moving up higher, the QFL signals, which are generated by AllTradey, are really good. I think that would be a good place to go and a good move. And if you're wanting to play it more conservatively, and you have, and I'll say this actually with a lot of confidence, the TBT signals work really well with large accounts. If you're a large account, if you have a lot of money connected through 3 commas and you don't want something that's super volatile, the TBT signals are really safe and conservative and slow. So they handled the drop on May 19th like, and they did a fantastic job. I'll just say that. We have reports that we send out, and I post on my public server, which you can get in the link below. But anyway, done with that. So I'll see what I'm doing here. Nice. All right, squeeze is coming. Need to break this level. I think so too. When the price was getting really close to 20K, I talked about, I made an analogy to, for any of you that have played Breath of the Wild, which is a fantastic game. I'm super excited for Breath of the Wild 2. Mixed feelings, but I'm excited. But there's this move called stasis, and you use stasis and it locks something, it turns it yellow. But if you hit it a lot of times, then it generates energy. And the more times you hit it, the redder it becomes and the further that thing will fly. So in essence, yeah, that was pretty close. So in essence, when we have a buildup like this, where the price is just building up, it's almost like looking at Link throwing stasis on some metal ball and just like ding, 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 and then it's just going to explode. So I personally agree with you that it's going to explode to the upside. It doesn't make sense for it to explode to the downside at this point. So yeah. Yes. how much will it cost to buy the TBT forecaster? The TBT forecaster is available through the Better Traders Club. It's available with that membership. So you get the TBT forecaster, the TBT stop loss hunting alert, which just sends you a quick alert. You also get Glassnode alerts that are sent to the private Discord server. There is a private Discord server. We have private live streams, and there are also the better dip signals that are sent to Discord as well. There's a lot of stuff in the club, but it's in the TBT forecaster and the stop loss hunting alert. All that is included in the monthly subscription for the Better Traders Club. You can find it on our site. I don't have fancy overlays. I'm just trying to make sure that this is actually running, and so far it seems okay, although the lighting has changed. Whatever. Someone knows if you have to modify any settings to use the TBO with stocks. Yes, I'm reading the comments. Oh, man, it's not lightning. It's just the battery died on my light. I need to fix that. It just drives me crazy. Let's see. There we go. So anyway, that's fun. Lesson learned. I just said, didn't I? I just said, wow, things are just going really well. I'm glad that the mic is working. Son of a bee sting. So anyway, what we're talking about, someone knows if you have to modify any settings to use the TBO stocks. Yes, you do. And I'm going to show you that. Crypto is fantastic with the TBO, mainly because crypto is a 24/7 market. Forex would be really good too, but the moves in Forex are this big compared to what we see in crypto. You can still use it, but you'd have to use it differently. Rune, how is Rune still up? How is Rune not falling through the floor? It seems super vulnerable. I like this question because this tells me what you think about the market. Yeah. I love it. Don't you love this? How is Rune not fallen to hell and back, right? It makes no sense. Just because there was negative news about Rune and news that I don't know if it was confirmed or not about the hacking event, right? Just because that happened doesn't mean that it's, for one, confirmed and real. And if it is, it doesn't make this a bad project. Rune is not the only project to have terrible, terrible news and allegations up the wazoo, and people leave and do all that stuff, and it recovers. XRP, Ripple. I mean, there are other charts too, but that's the biggest one that comes to my mind is that one. Even USDT, Tether has lots of bad press, lots of bad things happening for that, but I mean, people are still using it. It's still the #1 market as far as volume is concerned for stablecoins on Binance.com. So that says something about Binance, but we don't have to go there. But anyway, how is it still up? Just is. It's taken me a long time to stop arguing with the market and trying to reason with it. And once you get to that point where you're like, well, it's up because it's up, then I think that helps. It helps change your mindset. Plus, when there's terrible, terrible news, you always buy the dip. And if you bought the dip, you'd be up 63% by now. So really interesting that you mentioned that. So just because there's negative news about Rune doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing. All right, I'll get back to those other questions about Zcash and Solana in a second, but I want to take a second to look at more traditional stocks with the TBO. So let's go to the daily. So for those of you that don't trade stocks, this is going to look like a broken chart. So I feel like the educator in me just needs to explain something really quickly. So the stock market is open 5 days a week. So you're going to see like here, 11th of June, 14th of June. That's because the New York Stock Exchange is closed over the weekend. So there are big weekend moves. I am, to be honest, a little bit jealous of the stock market, mainly because it has open and closed hours. I like how crypto's 24/7 because I like trading it here and anywhere around the world, and the market is live and moving, just like Forex is. But I also kind of like having a break. So anyway, that's what explains the gaps. So this is going to be a little bit difficult to look at, especially on a 4-hour. I would not use a 4-hour time frame, or not 6. Here we go. 6 hours would be a little bit better for looking at stocks, mainly to get the idea of the flow. So the TBO is going to, it's just because of how the market looks, because of all the gaps and stuff, but it's pretty decent. Mainly because you can see the strength of the trend. You can see the support and resistance lines. It takes forever for the stock market to move. 109 days to make what? 23%? Why do you guys trade stocks? Why do you? It's besides the point. Anyway, so it's still valid. Again, this is 6 hours. So if we were to dial it down to an hourly time frame like this, so you probably actually want to do it. I think I have it over here at the 15. Yeah. So this is going to look more like an A/B chart, even though this is Apple, which has a ton of volume going into it. Actually, this is the TBO. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Weird. All right, that's fine. Shows what I know about the TBO. So anyway, the main thing that I would be using the TBO with is, if I were a day trader, I'd be using it to gauge strength, and I'd be looking for these, the orange diamonds right here, because this is a closed short position. When I see those guys, that gives me confirmation, especially in a cluster, that the trend could be moving up higher. To make 2%? Really? Okay, maybe it's not just Apple. Let's try something else. Let's look at Tesla. So again, to me, the best thing to do right here is to look at the support and resistance lines, just because you can make those quick scalps of 2%. Holy, really, guys? You really like this stuff? So let's approach this as a value investor, and let's look at the daily. So if I were investing in the stocks and I wanted to know when would be a good time to enter, let me go back here. And I was using the TBO. For one, I would want to make sure that I'm looking for an open long signal. I would want to confirm that the price is above all the clouds, and then just buy and hold. These breakdowns right here, whenever you see this close short, like this, the blue dot, that's telling you that, not close short, close long, that's telling you that there's probably going to be a negative downward movement. And of course there is. So if I don't want to give away too much actually, so I'm going to stop there just because I'm going into teaching mode. So right now where we are, this is not good. Anytime a chart's moving sideways is not too good, but it's not terrible, but it's not amazing, considering how bullish it's been. Okay. Well, if we're going, let me just fix that. Yeah, it actually has a bullish breakout right now. So it's only 4%. So you could enter now. I mean, that seems pretty good, but you don't need the TBO to figure that out. But the one thing that I do like about it, again, is to help me gauge trend strength. So far, it's still in an uptrend, and it's still okay. It would be much better to have invested here, to bought Tesla back here in May. Funny enough. So this would be a lot better, a lot stronger. Let's take a look at one more. Oops. Let's look at some weird one. Ooh, the Philip. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. No. Let's look at one of these. Here we go. PHX minerals. So we're going to dump this back to, here we go, the daily. to see how this looks. Yeah, this is more like it. Here we go. Now we're into the, not penny stocks, but this is probably, oh, minerals. Okay. So double bottom, that's nice. We can see the green cross, meaning that we're probably gonna have a cross up. Confirmation for the daily going up, and then bada boom. There we go. Now that's a good move. That's much better. That's more like it. And now we're in a stronger uptrend. We see this, which is not comforting, which is the open short on the daily, but the price is holding within the cloud a bit. It'd be better to get one of these dip buy opportunities like that. Whew. You buy that dip and you ride it back up. On the faster time frames, man, this looks like an A/B chart. Look at that. So you could be trading it, day trading it, I guess, if you're using another platform, which there are many. But not bad, not amazing, but not bad. So yeah, but the one thing you want to look out for, especially in, let's do, or why don't we do this instead? Here we go. So when you're on the lower time frames like this, expect there to be gaps because the market is closed over the weekend, because the market closes at 5 p.m. and opens back up at what, 8 a.m. Eastern time. So it's going to have gaps in it, but you can still use it to gauge the strength and to find support and resistance, which it's doing a really good job of. Whoa, that was a big rumble. Cool. All right, let me pop over here to the chat. So I got 2 requests and we'll call that good because I'm getting hungry. I need to eat some lunch. So let's take a look at Zcash and Solana and then we'll call it good for today. All right, so Zcash. All right. And this should be 4 hour, and then this should be daily, and this should be 30 minutes. Okay, then I'm going to zoom out to CL4. Ah, okay. All right, so a couple observations that I see right now. Even without the TBO, we can see that the trend is moving up. That's good. And that's nice and gradual. That's a really good thing. The fact that the price is above, like I said right here, above all the lines are moving up on the hourly. That's really good. The fact that here on the 4 hour that we're going to see some gray, and then now it's confirmed open long here on the 24th. That's really good. It's moving up nice and slow. That's good. We have close short cluster here. That's really good. On the daily, let me zoom in a bit more. Yeah. I wonder if you guys can hear that. Ooh. Should be able to. That flashed just outside. It's fun. Rainy season. Yeah, things look really good. If you guys can't hear it, then I just look like an idiot, I'm sure. Like, oh, I like thunder and lightning. I like that stuff. It's fun. So anyway, it's broken out of the overhead trend. That's really positive, and it's slowly moving up. That's really good. RSI looks really good at 53. So yeah, Zcash looks strong. I would wait to see what happens with Bitcoin. It may fall down a little bit, and this could too, but if it falls down to where it was at support, 20%, it's not that bad. Sorry, I meant like the position where it is. If it falls down 20%, that is bad. But it shows, I can see that there's support here at 10% or so below because of this wick and because of the price action here and the wicks. So I don't think it'll fall back down there. If it's going to fall anywhere, it'll fall back to 93. Cool. Mike is asking, what indicator am I using? This is the TBO Pro, and the TBO Pro is different than the TBO, but you can get the TBO through our website at thebettertraders.com. The TBO Pro is different because it has lots of other bells and whistles like custom trend strength, confirmation bars, using RSI as a filter, changing support and resistance, different breakout and breakdown methods, showing tape, a lot of stuff. So anyway, But even the TBO, the standard version, looks amazing because it is. All right. And let me look at Solana, and then we're going to call it a day. Oops, that was weird. And actually, let's do it on FTX. Ooh, this one is almost ready for liftoff. It's not. Well, we're getting higher lows. First low, second low, third low. So they're sequentially higher, which is good. It's making a wedge. Let me change this and do. Here we go. So this is where we are right now. It's breaking out. So that's a really good sign for Solana. So that's a really good thing. It broke out of the triangle before it fell down. It's actually breaking above the channel. One really cool thing I don't use enough is here is the regression trend. I have a free course called, what is it called? Course Chart Builders, I think. Yeah, I forget what it's called. Anyway, it's here on YouTube and on the Better Traders. But anyway, I teach you how to use all this stuff on TradingView. Good grief. What is it called? That's okay. But the regression trend is awesome because it lets you see where the upper side and the lower side and the middle of the trend is. It just automatically plots it for you, which makes it really cool, in my opinion. So it's really nice because it can show you where the middle of the trend is as well to let you know when things may be oversold or overbought in reference to the center of the trend. So again, regression trend, really cool. It's the second thing here below trend line. So yeah, things look really nice. Let's look at the 4 hour. So it just happened within the last, yep. No surprise that we see TBO breakout happening right here, letting us know that the price is breaking out positively. So I expect Solana to move up a lot over the weekend and over the next week, just like we've seen the other charts that I shared previously. Like Aave is doing nice. It's up 14-15% because of this exact same setup. So points to look out for is here. Because of the TBO resistance line, I can go ahead and do a quick and dirty fib line drawing. Not bad. Yeah, 38 is going to be some resistance because of this wick, upper wick, and also because it's the 618 and then 786 lines up with that. Yeah. So, but anyway, Solana, thank you for showing this to me. This one looks amazing. Looks really, really good. So that chart basics. Thank you, Happy Valley Farms. Thank you. Okay. So nice. I wanted this to be a good enough live stream, even though the lights turned off on me. Things went pretty well. I'll try to make up fancier stuff. I know you guys don't care, but I kind of like it. But anyway, hopefully you got the gist of the charts that we checked out. Bitcoin, Ethereum, FTX token, Aave, the key, Unify. Those updates look good. Solana, keep an eye on that because that one looks really strong. I don't have any fancy intro or anything like that, or outro, but I just want to say thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you aren't a member on my public Discord, there's a link down below in the description of this video. And if you want to learn more about the TBO, you can go to thebettertraders.com/TBO or just go to our website. It's linked down below. But if you have any questions, you can email me in the About section here on YouTube. It's moonandpapa@thebettertraders.com. It's a really long email. It's really long. But anyway, you can click that and email me questions if you have them, stuff like that. So until the next time, stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace and stream.